Man, when did we get one of these?
I don't know. I think it rocked up on our doorstep from the Oz Post.
It looks like
that's how it went.
Yeah, it looks like a Suron, but it's not.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about it.
I don't know how I feel about it either.
Yeah. No, I don't know whether to cuddle it or whether to maybe do some mods to it or maybe we should just look at it. It's black, Jared. It just hasn't got any colours.
Well, we should definitely mod it.
Yeah, I think we should probably mod it, Jared.
And maybe a sticker, because you're right, it doesn't look happy. It's just one colour and it's, you know,
Yeah.
it's very much like my fringe. It's just very emotional right now and black.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, cool. So we got a Talaria just to mod it and kind of keep up with everyone else, and so we can kind of spread the content around, and Ultra be on the way as well. What actually have we done to this truant so far?
Mate, I think we put one of these controller thingies on it from Ebmx. I think they call it an X9000.
Yep, we put a X9000. We put an X9000 on it. I put an upgraded 6-gauge harness on it. Also took out any of the original stuff from the BMS connection to the battery, so I had to rerun the on signal as well. But yeah, we're going to chuck a KO motor in this, and then write a tune on the X9000 for the F-spec. And then
give it a hug.
And then give it a hug.
Yeah, that would be all right, wouldn't it?
And that there is our motor out. Definitely way more of a task than it is on a Suron. Time to transfer the gearbox and stuff over to our new motor. KO will supply you with some different hardware for the motor, so make sure you use the shorter ones on this side of the motor. Okay, so something we found that was a bit of a tolerance issue with the KO was basically the little spaces that sit here and here are very tight. This one not so much, the front one definitely. It's something to be mindful that you might need a flapper wheel. So we got the motor in and we got it tuned. So a couple of weird things about this motor is that the PWM frequency on it is semi-custom. So we had to get Ebmx to log in and basically map that PWM frequency on the encoder. Basically how encoders work is you've got what they call like ABZ readings, and then you have a PWM. And the PWM basically changes from 0 to 5 volts. And in that 0 to 5 volt range, basically that gives our motor position anywhere in the RPM. So it's a cool way to do it. It's a lot more accurate than a Hall sensor. And I think that's why the Talaria feels so good, and it does feel better than the Suron. There's a weird smoothness in this bike that just makes it feel excellent. I can see why people really like it. I originally thought it was just down to the gearbox only, but I definitely think it's the biggest part is really the encoder. You just get so much more motor control, and it's definitely noticeable. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I don't blame you, but basically this motor runs an encoder where a lot of the Suron-based KO motors and a lot of motors in general run a Hall sensor. So I had to get Ebmx, log in, basically tune the encoder side. Apart from that, I got everything working ourselves. So we've basically written a tune for this and we've tested this, and it goes really well. Me and Truett are so professional that we've ridden this bike a lot, we've tested this bike a lot, and it's been a good time. It's absolutely horrible with 19-inch wheels. As you can see with the setup, we are running everything stock. It's a bit of a handful with 20 kilowatt. We unfortunately sheared the inner tube straight out of the tire, which is why this is sitting here. And that's why we're so professional and the change is hanging there. But at least, you know, we did ride it and we did break it. And I think it lasted almost a day. Okay, so if you super nerdy people and you want to know what's different about an F-spec versus an RS, it's kind of not a lot. It's very, very minor. So it's got a slightly less motor resistance. It's a slightly higher KV, so that kind of makes sense. And it has slightly different motor inductance. That's kind of pretty much it as far as the motor is concerned. The tune is very similar to the RS, just different KP and KI and D scales. But yeah, it's all working and it's ready to roll. That's our kind of review of the F-spec motor. It is good, it goes well. Well done KO for making a solid motor that fits the Talaria. Catch you on the next one.
Just the power delivery of the X9000. So smooth. Oh, the braking bumps. I need to clean that up. But just, I hate 1919. But the actual bike itself, so smooth. It's sketchy with 1919, but it's very smooth. Very light. Very light to flick around because of the 1919.